Hi, everyone. So today's going to be a very good day, and here's why. The Dear Evan Hansen movie trailer came out, and I'm very excited to watch it. I've tried very hard to wait till I got home so I can watch it in full instead of watching bits and pieces of it. I had talked about this a few times and how I love this amazing Broadway musical called Dear Evan Hansen. I immediately fell in love with the music. The music is incredible by this musical because it was so well written. The songs are amazing. The story's pretty relevant and relatable. The time that the show came out, it was right around the time when I was going through something in my life that was pretty difficult. There was a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. And long story short, this musical and the show and the music, along with a few other people, really helped me get through that difficult time. So the show really means a lot to me in that regard. When I first heard about a movie version being made of Dear Evan Hansen, my first initial reaction to that piece of news was, I don't know, musicals turned into movies rarely are good. But I don't know, some of those new ones that are gonna be released this year looks really good. There's going to be a few other musicals that will be coming out this year. In the Heights is coming out in June. West Side Story is coming out in December, I believe. There's another one called Everybody's Talking About Jamie that looks pretty amazing too. What else? So there's going to be quite a few musicals coming out this year that actually looks pretty good. But this particular show, Dear Evan Hansen, holds a really special place in my heart because of the reasons that I've stated earlier. I can talk on and on and on about what this musical did for me, but that's going to take forever. Props to you if you got that reference. From the few clips that I've seen, it looks pretty good, so I'm very excited. So here we go.
Dear Evan Hansen, today is going to be an amazing day, and here's why.
Have you been doing those letters to yourself with Dr. Sherman?
I've been trying to. Have you ever felt like nobody was there?
No one signed your cast. Now we can both pretend we are friends.
I'm sorry about my brother.
Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? I wish everything was different. Wish I was part of something. Wish that anything I said mattered. Have you ever felt like you could disappear?
Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah, that's mine. I'll just take it. Wait, I need that back. Like you could fall, and no one would hear. Connor took a letter from me, and it was an assignment from my therapist.
Ew.
Even when the dark comes crashing through.
Connor's mother and stepfather are here to see you.
When you need a friend to carry you.
Connor wanted you to have this.
And when you're broken on the ground.
Dear Evan Hansen, he wrote it to you.
His last words, Connor took his own life.
Hey, what? I'm sorry, Connor didn't write this.
No, please. It's this.
You will be found.
We didn't think Connor had any friends.
I mean, you really gonna tell these people that the only thing they have left of their son is a letter that you wrote to yourself?
So, you and Connor, tell us something, please.
Right. I started talking and
You couldn't stop.
they didn't want me to stop.
I'm putting together a memorial service. If you wanted to do something.
Connor showed me that I wasn't alone. Nobody is. So, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay.
I didn't know that you were hurting.
'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand,
A lot of people feel like us.
you can reach out your hand.
People started sharing it. It's everywhere.
I don't understand what happened.
You did.
You don't know how much you've given my family and me. Were you ever actually friends with him?
I had never meant to make it such a mess. I was trying to help. If you knew who I am, just how broken I am.
I already know you.
Okay. Oh man, okay. Jeez. Okay, that was really good. Man, that gave me goosebumps a little bit. Only because there were a few scenes here, I saw a few scenes where little snippets of it that really means a lot in the show, and it holds a lot of meaning. But yeah, right off the bat, I saw how they kind of made Ben Platt. So Ben Platt is the actor that played Evan Hansen. He was the original Evan Hansen that played it on Broadway in the musical. I know for a fact that Ben Platt is a little bit older. He might be in his 30s, I'm not sure. But in the story, he's playing a high school student. And it looks like they did some kind of de-aging or something to his face, or I don't know if it's just makeup, but it looks a little off, but whatever. This guy played this role so well in the musical that he actually won a Tony Award for it. And if you're not familiar, the Tony Awards, it's pretty much the Oscar Awards for theater and musicals. So he played that character so well. He played the role of someone who has anxiety. He was very isolated. He was lonely. He was depressed. He was seeing a therapist for it. He was taking medication for it. He was just that guy that people made fun of in school, got teased a lot because of that condition. So he really wasn't very popular, or he was for the wrong reasons. And I don't want to give away too much, but he kind of gets involved in a situation where he had to fabricate a story, and somehow that turned his life around pretty much overnight. What I really liked about this musical is the subject matter. It's something that's very relatable, I think, because it talks about really, mental health, which is relevant right now. A lot of people are struggling with it, and social media plays a part. And we know, and we are all familiar with how social media works nowadays, whereas all you have to do is light that little spark of fire, and within seconds it blows up, and you cannot control it. I was getting a little choked up in some of the scenes because it looks like the movie remains very faithful to the original Broadway musical. I saw a lot of scenes in there that really brings back a lot of memories. If you're not familiar with what the story really is about, I don't know if you're getting that from the movie trailer, but word of warning, this is really intense, heavy drama. If you're not into that, you might want to skip this one. When I saw it on Broadway, there were a lot of moments, there were a lot of really good moments in the show where everyone was just sniffling. All you could hear around you are sniffles, and it's very emotional. It's drama heavy, but at the same time, a lot of the things that they talked about in the show are things that a lot of people are going through and are struggling with. One could probably argue that the storyline is a little problematic because in the story, Evan Hansen does something that, one would say that, man, you shouldn't be doing that because of the consequences. But it's a really strange but cool dynamic because you're watching the story unfold and what Evan Hansen is trying to do. Just imagine this really anxious, awkward kid that everyone pushes around and makes fun of. And then all of a sudden, pretty much really overnight, his life changes. It's kind of like watching a train derail and heading straight into a wall about to crash. And you're just watching it and you're going, oh no, here's this kid who's in high school, and then all of a sudden he's gaining friends. He's not lonely anymore. He's happy. He's laughing. He's smiling. So you kind of find yourself rooting for the guy, right? I feel like there will be so many points in this movie where so many people will, at one point or another, relate to any one of the characters in the movie because all of them are just like everyone else. They're just trying to get through life. And everyone's going through the same set of struggles. Everyone's going through the same set of pain and hurt as humans. Sometimes a lot of these things are the ones that we don't talk about, or we don't have anyone to talk to about it. And we just try to stay silent and deal with it alone. It showed very briefly very important scenes that will play a very big part in telling the story. There's a scene where he was climbing up a tree. And that's going to be the scene where he sings a song called For Forever. To me, that's one of the best songs in the show because it's a very heartfelt song that talks about what he's going through. And the song that they used for the trailer is called You Will Be Found. That song is the song of Dear Evan Hansen because that song will just really cut you deep. I'm really secretly hoping that they use one of the songs that was part of the original, like one of the very original songs that they ultimately cut and did not make it into the show. If you can look it up, it's called In the Bedroom Down the Hall, and this was sung by two mothers in the show, dealing with their own internal struggles with their family and their kids, but you know, they're dealing with it in very different ways, but they're singing it together, and you see the parallels in what they're going through. Even if they're going through it in very different ways, at the very core of it, it's just very similar. It's such a universal theme, all the struggles that moms go through. That's really gonna give you all the feels, man. When I first heard that song, I was like, oh, my poor heart. The whole show as a whole has a lot of heart, and it's real, it's raw, and something that everyone's gonna be able to relate to. But overall, I'm very, very happy. I can't wait for September to come. Now, my sister actually went to an advanced screening of this a few weeks ago, and she had no idea what this was about. And even she said, man, I wasn't prepared for this. I wasn't ready for it. And her words were, this one made my lashes clump together. It's gonna hit a lot of people hard, I feel. If you feel like chatting about this, feel free to connect with me on Instagram or type something up in the comments down there. I know there's a lot of fans out there like I am, so let's talk about it and let's chat. But thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.